Yes. Oh my.
I'm a little uncomfortable with that length.
I'm excited. Okay. Ready? All right. Welcome to the December 13th City Council meeting. Appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate the North Texas Youth Chorus for performing for us. Some Christmas carols getting us in the mood for the season. We'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. We'll declare it open. I'm going to ask Councilman Henry Marroquin if he'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A quick prayer. Lord, we thank you for everything that you do for us, everything that we have, everything that we need, everything that you give us daily, Lord. We ask you to be with us in all the decision making today and all the right decisions that citizens of Sherman will be asking for. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you, Henry. Okay. Is Sergeant O.H. Hubbard with us this evening?
Not yet.
Okay.
They haven't been able to get here.
We'll come back to Sergeant Hubbard. Robbie, is he supposed to be here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was.
He's in the hall, maybe.
Yeah.
He may be blocked in traffic there.
Okay.
You
We
might
can come
be able
back
to
to
move
this.
to B2.
Yeah, we'll come back to this.
Yeah.
He's here.
Margaret? Yes, come
There he is.
forward. How are you this evening? Executive Director of
Good.
Texas Coalition for Affordable Power.
Yes, thank
Welcome.
you. Thank
Welcome
you.
to Sherman.
I love coming up to Sherman. So thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time tonight. I'm going to read this real quickly because I will forget everything I want to tell you all about this wonderful founding members trophy or plaque or whatever we want to call it,
Okay.
that we're giving our members. So 20 years ago, the city of Sherman passed a resolution to join other cities working together for the benefit of all to form the city's aggregation power project to help cities save money on their electric bills. Fast forward, and the city's aggregation power project joined with the South Texas aggregation project and merged and became TCAP in 2011 with the same purpose, finding energy rates that saves its members money and in turn saves tax dollars. With 169 members, TCAP is the largest organization of its kind in Texas. As we celebrate our 20th year, we want to thank our founding members, those members that were there from the start and who have continued to be leaders in working together for savings. On behalf of the Board of Directors and myself, I want to present this to the City of Sherman and thank you for your membership in the Texas Coalition for Affordable Power.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. So,
Thank you.
can I come down and get my picture made with you? Okay.
like the holidays out there.
Thank you. You all have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, do we find Sergeant Hubbard?
Right there.
Come on up, Sergeant Hubbard.
How you doing?
How are you, sir?
Just glad to be here tonight because over the past y'all have been really nice to the Purple Heart, helping out with different stuff that we do. I would just want to, if you got the plaque,
It's over here.
I just want to award you with this plaque.
Is this it? Yes, is he awarding that to the council? To the council? Yes. Okay.
Everybody.
I wonder if we couldn't get all the council in the picture somehow. Can we stand
Sure.
up?
Yep.
do it.
Let's do it.
Take that long, we'll go.
Yeah, because I think the council needs to be recognized.
Yes, sir. Thank you much. Thank you.
If you'll come over here.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Maybe we should.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, is that right? Ridiculous.
Somebody's trying to get your attention.
Okay, so this evening, we just received an award from Sergeant Hubbard. So the Military Order of the Purple Heart Special Recognition Award is bestowed with pride to the city of Sherman, Texas, for your dedication and support, honoring America's combat wounded veterans and their family members. Presented by the Patriot Members, Chapter 612, Military Order of the Purple Heart, USA. That is very kind.
So Mayor, that's the city allows that group to meet at our airport. It's
Okay.
a meeting place just without charge and whatnot. And so they just wanted to say thank you for what everyone is doing to support them and their ability to meet on a regular basis. So.
Well, that's such a blessing, and we need to do everything we can to support our veterans. So thank you. If Sergeant Hubbard left, but I hope he got out okay. There's still a crowd out there. All right, at this time, we're to citizen comment. Does anybody have anything to discuss with the council regarding any part of the agenda? Right? Not, we're to the consent agenda. These items are considered routine and will be acted in one motion without discussion unless somebody wants these items broken apart for any reason. The consent agenda includes items F5 and G3.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, we're to public hearing. We'll open public hearing at this time. Linda, if you'll read E1 for us, please.
Ordinance 6441, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman repealing and replacing Resolution Number 6729, supporting Health Associates Incorporated on behalf of the applicant, Texas Instruments Incorporated, to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for a municipal setting designation at 6412 U.S. Highway 75 South in the City of Sherman, Grayson County, Texas, and providing for an effective date, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Clint?
E1 and E2 are related. We had two applicants, Texas Instruments and Presco, that applied for the state's municipal settings designation. For those of you that were on past council, we approved last year an ordinance allowing this application to go through. We were then required through the state to we approved a resolution. If you remember, not opposing the designation. The TCEQ reviewer, who's the same reviewer on both of these applications, came back and did not like the resolution. So they made a request to change it to an ordinance and also be a little bit more restrictive on the groundwater usage of these areas. So we worked through attorneys and TCEQ to verify that this ordinance would be acceptable to TCEQ. There's not any really additional things that the city would be required to do by passing this ordinance. It's more of a formality to get it on the right form that TCEQ finds acceptable for their application.
Okay. Thank you, Clint. Is there anyone here to address this issue this evening? Okay. If not, Linda, if you'll read E2 for us, please.
Ordinance 6442, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman repealing and replacing Resolution Number 6710 in support of the application of Golder Associates Incorporated on behalf of 1201 East Pecan North Real Estate LLC and 1201 East Pecan Holdings LLC to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for a municipal setting designation at 1201 East Pecan Street in the City of Sherman, Grayson County, Texas, and providing for an effective date, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Clint?
This is same as the previous. We just change out
Okay.
site specifics and owner specifics.
Okay. Thank you, Clint. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening?
Good evening, council and
Paul.
city staff. Paul Manley, 1506 North Alexander Street, Sherman, Texas. I'm just here to, Clint summarized pretty well. I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
All right, Linda, if you'll read E3 for us, please.
Ordinance 6443, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending ordinance number 6099 and renaming Industrial Reinvestment Zone number 022018-1, City of Sherman, Texas, to City of Sherman Industrial Reinvestment Zone number 6 for the purpose of commercial industrial tax abatement, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Mary?
Yes, the state comptroller notified us that our numbering convention on our industrial reinvestment zones is no longer complies with how they want it numbered. All this ordinance does is change the number. There's no other changes. It's just purely administrative to come in compliance with the comptroller's rules.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. Does anybody care to speak on this item this evening? Okay. If not, we'll close public hearing and consider the adoption of the ordinances. Council, questions, discussion, comments?
If no one has, it doesn't look like anybody has any questions, so I'll go ahead and move for the adoption of 6441, 6442, and 6443.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, we are to item F1, authorizing execution of a contract with Grayson County, Texas for use of the Sherman Animal Shelter.
Hey, Chief, how's the photo shoot today? Pretty good?
It's great. Just takes up some time. Just every time I have a council, something on the agenda, I got to take another picture, but that's okay. Mayor, council, believe we have what we think is going to be a contract that both parties can agree to. If you recall, last time I came and spoke, it was upwards of over $400 per animal. We're looking at $250 per animal, and then $50 a day after 3 days. So that still is headway from where we were. So I think that both parties can live with this for now. Believe that there's a delayed start date?
Yeah, well, the agreement, as it's written currently, the agreement would commence tomorrow on the 14th and expire on April 1st. So that gives the county 90 plus days to kind of evaluate what they want to do there. So, and then at the end of this 90-day period, or at the end of, April 1st, then we would just come back with another agreement, or hopefully we'll have heard from the county about their direction,
their decision,
their more permanent direction on that.
Okay, I understand the county has requested that.
Has requested to January 1st
Yes.
to be the start
Yeah, the
date.
county is requesting a January 1st of 2022 date, a start date.
I don't see the point. We're already giving them 90 more days to think of their mind. How many dogs are going to come in reasonably between now and the end of Christmas? 10?
At least.
I mean,
Yeah, it's between 1 and 2 a day is the average. If they're bringing us about 500 to 600 animals, then it's, a dog and a half. That's
Not that we
really
endorse
what
that.
I meant. I mean, that's not literally how they come in. I'm just
Dog and a half a day.
One dog and one
average.
cat.
Average.
We take
Well, we
complete,
don't,
check my math. That's like $2,000.
complete animals.
I think the county can probably afford that.
Yeah, we just need to know. I mean, as it's written, it's the 14th is the start date.
Right. I would
And
just
so-
ask that in your motion that the start date is addressed. So either as written within our current ILA as presented, or with the delayed start date.
Does anybody have an issue? Because if not, I'd make a motion that we approve.
often we do extend courtesies to other governments.
Well, I mean, I agree with you, Mr. Mayor, but we've extended the courtesy all the way to May. This seems like extending another courtesy, like a hat on a hat. And they've known about this for how long, Chief? Have y'all been negotiating this?
I don't recall the first time that we brought this to council, but
Well, we brought it in September.
Okay.
First meeting in September is when we first brought it back to you. So
Mr. Mayor, in my mind, giving them 90 days to make a decision on the 400 is a courtesy, and this would be a courtesy on a courtesy. And I don't see the need for it. It's a minimal amount of money. I don't think the county will be stressed by $2,000 additional dollars. So I would make the motion that we accept Resolution 6827, adding that the contract begin tomorrow, the 14th.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, Linda, if you'll read F2 for us, please.
Resolution 6828, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of Amendment Number 2 of the standard form of agreement between owner and architect between the City of Sherman and Heidel and Associates Architects Incorporated for the design of the new Sherman Police Department headquarters to reflect the increase in project scope to include the lift station design and coordination, additional topographic survey information, and geotech report for the proposed lift station location. Finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Clint?
Yes, this is a resolution to increase the, actually the amendment number 2 for the Heidel contract for a lift station. We were hopeful that we could get the PD designed where we could have gravity sewer from there south to down Northgate, but when we got the civil plans back, it just wasn't going to work. So this is to have someone actually design the lift station, and Hydel will help coordinate timing to ensure that the design and construction is within the construction time of the PD, so that by the time they're ready to open for business, we've got sewer to the property. This will also serve the fire station. I don't know if you guys remember, but the fire station was, at the time, we didn't have sewer to there, so we have a septic system on that. The intent was that would be temporary until this area developed. It just happened to be that we're the ones doing the developing for this corner. So this will take care of the fire station as well.
Well, this sounds very important.
It is.
Okay, Clint. Council, questions, discussion, comments?
What is the expected cost on this?
That's the big question. We have supplied an example of one we've done, but we haven't done one of this size.
Or on the
actual lift station.
The actual lift station.
Gotcha.
We don't know.
Some more than nothing.
More than
but
nothing.
Probably less than. Ballpark it for me, Clint. To the nearest million. How about that?
Less than 400,000.
Less than 400,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say around 150,000, hopeful. There are, if you want to get detailed, there are SCADA systems that we do want included.
Yeah.
So that we're not dependent on a non-technical person seeing a red light flash whenever there's a problem out there. We'd much rather the water plant operators see something on their computer that notifies them that there's a problem out there, like all of our lift stations in town. So that does cost extra, but it being critical for the police and fire to operate, I think that's money well spent.
And with this individual lift station, what kind of coverage does that have in that area?
So really, it's just those two locations that serve it. Everything else south and west of the new police station can gravity feed into the existing line just over the hill.
Clint, when we're, if we agree to this, could we also include in that to retrofit all the old lift stations so that none of them are reliant on an alarm and a flashing light to know that there's a problem? Can we just
not with this contract?
But we could investigate that.
We are moving. There are a part of all of the new reports and critical pieces. We're looking at upgrading each lift station site.
Okay.
For that, other things we're looking at is to allow for generators to plug into them.
Yeah. That'd be included in like a all-in-one package deal. I move to approve 6828 as written.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Who was the second, please? Thank you.
All right. Linda, if you'll read F3 for us, please.
Resolution 6829, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of an agreement with Finisar Sherman R.E. Holdco, LLC, a Texas limited liability company, for the abatement of ad valorem property taxes for Phase 2 improvements within Industrial Reinvestment Zone Number 6, City of Sherman, Texas. Finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Robbie?
Yes, we are pleased to present a proposed tax abatement agreement with Finisar, who is now owned by the 2-6 Corporation, for a project that they are contemplating here in Sherman. You might recall that a few years ago, when they were moving to town, the city granted them an abatement for what at the time was a committed $120 million improvement and equipment purchase. And they had also indicated that they would be hiring about 300 people at the time. Since that time, they have invested over $180 million. We don't know exactly how much, but that's what's on the tax roll. So it's likely that that amount is over $200 million that they've actually spent, and have 400 employees currently at the site. So they've had more investment, more employees, and now are back for round 2 for what is a proposed $50 million project to bring about another 120 jobs. The proposed structure of this is a 10-year abatement. It's not as rich, I guess you might say, as the previous one because it's a smaller scope, but it would average a 50% abatement over this 10-year period. It starts a little bit higher at 60% and then goes down to 25% by the end of this 10-year period, but we are very glad that they are here in Sherman and are expanding here in Sherman and have had good things to say about their experience here and the cooperation and support they've received from the city. So we think it's a great project, and this would be a 10-year abatement that would start in 2022, so it would be 2023 fiscal year for us is when it would become effective.
Can I ask a question? It's not whether we should pass it or not, but Finisar has changed its name to 2-6. Why are
They were purchased.
Well, they were purchased by 2-6, and they even have it out front on their signs now. And so I was just wondering as to why we're using the name Finisar as opposed to 2-6.
So the Finisar Holding Company is still the name on the property. They're still the legal owners.
All right, thank you.
Of the property, and so we just used their legal name.
All right, thank you.
Move to approve 6829 as written.
Second.
Okay, motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. Linda, if you'll read F4 for us, please.
Resolution 6830, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing the purchase of new console positions, consolette radios, and an 80-foot monopole with antenna lines and assembly through Motorola Solutions through the Texas DIR agreement, DIR-TSO-4101, finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda.
Mayor, council, talk to you all about animals. Now we'll talk about some dispatch stuff. So this is for our radio console. So this allows for radio traffic for our dispatchers to move from the computer to the cars, and it would handle both police and fire. So it's kind of the brains of the operation as far as our communications. It's already end of life for the equipment that we currently have. But what we did is we made a decision to try to coordinate this with the new headquarters so that we were buying and moving at one time. That's the intent, not install it in the new station and pay to have it moved again. So that's why the timing of it is here, as well as with the monopole, the tower for the radio communications. Purchasing it now before the end of the year when the new state contract takes effect allows us to have a 15% discount. There's going to be a 15% increase at the end of the year. With this being the last council meeting of the year, I want to try to get this on the agenda so we could save about $100,000 on the equipment that we knew we would have to purchase.
Chief, are we planning to have both the old existing dispatch station and the new station up and running at the same time, at least for a period?
So our intent, we won't be able to have both fully operational at the same time. But what we'll have one of two things. We will either have 911 rolled over to the county for the literally flipping the switch, or if everything is installed and satisfactory, we'll flip the switch and we'll just start right fresh whenever we get in the new police headquarters. There will be a console at the current station that will allow us to operate out of in the need of an emergency. So we're going to maintain redundancy, so we will still have that operational the whole time.
Excellent. Thank you, Chief.
Must be tough looking so cute in pictures.
Well, you'd have to ask Chrysler. I don't know, but I just show up.
Just
show up.
Just lots of pictures.
I just show up.
Never know when you're going to show up.
Never know. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, council, questions, comments?
I'll move to approve 6830.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, we're to receive an update from the Texas Department of Transportation Paris District Engineer Noel on TxDOT projects. Come on up. Noel, tell us about the Great 75 project and how you're going to be done in 6 months.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. But before I get started, I want to introduce my staff members. Kobe Shelton. I think many of you know Aaron Bloom, the area engineer. He's his assistant, so he kind of manages all the projects in Grayson and Fannin County. And Ken Etchukang, the US 75 project manager, oversees all of the design and construction on 75. kind of have them as my backup for tough questions. Um, So we always start with a little safety message. I have talked about this before. Unfortunately, I'm like a broken record saying the same thing, but I would rather say it because in the hope that one day we can get to zero. What do I mean by zero? November 7, 2000 is the last day that a deathless day in Texas roadways. Since then, every day we've had at least one. Right now, we are averaging about 11. It's too many. 11 is. What do we do about that? So we look at safety as a three-legged stool. You know, for the stool to stand, you need the three legs. We call it the 3 E's. We all do the engineering, and I think we have done a good job. All the guardrail, the concrete barriers, the speed limits, the wider roadways, good design. That takes care of the engineering. Of course, Chief is here. They do an awesome job in the enforcement side of it. But it's that education is where we are seeing a big gap. As we look at all the accidents, it could be preventable. Basic features like seat belts, speeding, things like that can be prevented. So we are reaching out to all the schools, but I'm asking and pleading for your help to get the message out. Hopefully we can save one life. Let's start with that one life. So TxDOT has to end the streak of fatalities that we've had, and our mission moving forward is mission zero fatalities on our road. So let's put that depressing part aside. Let's talk about 75. I want to start by appreciating Mayor Robbie, city manager, and the council for all the push that you gave us, the financial commitments that y'all came up with. That helped us with the $155 million historical high for Paris District. We haven't had a project this big, and that's right here in Sherman. We're about 50% complete. Also, this project includes improvements at 75 and 82. So I'm not going to read that, but I want to talk about what are things that you can expect moving forward. You see what you see out there. You see Washington closed. I know it's not popular, but we are making progress. There are 2 bridges that are closed right now. We have Center Street that's closed, so is Washington. So our expected completion of Center Street is going to be somewhere around March, April timeframe, and then Washington is going to be July, August.
Of 2022?
Apologize. Make sure.
Okay.
Thanks for the clarification.
Right.
2022. And soon after we do that, we have some transitions to get the main lanes back on these bridges. Another major event would happen then, which would be Houston-Lamar, that would be closed at. Now, it's not going to take as long as Washington took, because Washington had some complicated issues going on. This would be just a bridge structure from one end to the other. So we are looking at somewhere around 6 to 7 months, depending on weather, to get that completed. So during this time, you'll still have the frontage roads where you can go up to Washington. Now Washington's open, so all the westbound traffic would use the frontage road, go to Washington, make a U-turn, and then head back west. Eastbound will have to go to Center Street, make a loop. It's a little extra 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles there. But there's no other way. I mean, the risk is too much to keep the traffic underneath. From falling debris, when you're setting up beams, it's too much. So that's kind of things that you can expect. On the south end, Etienne told me that we are ready to remove the northbound on-ramp from 1417. That's the old ramp that we used to have. That's going to go away. However, if you're coming from 1417, there'll be a temporary ramp that's built just south of South Travis Street. That would get you back on 75. Now, in the case you missed that, now you have to go through the light at Travis Street, South Travis Street. There'll be a permanent ramp on the north side of it that would be functional. So there's two opportunities if you missed that temporary ramp. The one thing I have to say right now, if you're exiting at Center Street or Park, you have to exit at 1417. That's going to remain until we finish that segment north. Also, if you're exiting at South Travis Street right now, that's a temporary ramp that we have. That's going to go away. So we exit at 1417. So those are kind of the major items that we have. I'll be happy to pause here and happy to take any questions that y'all may have.
So is it overall, is the project on schedule from the original schedule roughly, or?
Absolutely. This is what we call as an A+B bidding, where the contractor bids on the cost as well as the time. So the contractor actually came in plus days under what we had estimated. So it's a good thing. Now, every project we all know has little hiccups here and there, but they are making up time. So I think one of these slides would have said we are looking at end of 23, so somewhere around November, December timeframe. For majority of the work to be done, the cleanup work would take into 24. But in terms of traffic disruptions, most of that should end by end.
Okay, and that's both the 75 portion and the 82, 75 intersection?
That is correct.
Okay.
Another point of interest at 82 and 75, the exit to Boy Lake. So that means that if you have to go to 75, now you would exit at Loy Lake. I don't know if y'all saw the schematics, but the original schematic is all 75 traffic would exit at Loy Lake. Would have 3 lanes of frontage road. You'll come up to the light. The light would be optimized to get that through move. Then you would come up to 75 and either take a right or a left. And there would now be a ramp. Obviously, we all know that ramp to 75 is a very short ramp, does not meet any design standards. So we are moving it to Loy Lake, and that would be open here shortly. As soon as we open that, we'll remove the existing ramp and it'll be permanently removed.
The traffic at Loy Lake at 82 going across the bridge on Loy Lake is starting to get pretty ridiculous.
Yep.
Will this ramp removal make that better or worse, do you think?
It depends now. We are hoping that some of the diversions that traffic did while the work is going on at 82, once we open up that ramp and the 3 lanes, people would more likely stay on the frontage road than us. Now, if you're going to Lowe's or if you're going anywhere south of that bridge, or if you're coming from south to going north, obviously you'll be using that. We'll do some intersection improvements, but as far as that bridge, it will not be widened under this project.
Well, we're up to on weekends like 3 traffic changes to get through there. And I'm okay. I'm worried about your health and safety. But
it is a challenge, especially to the workers that are out.
Yeah. So once this ramp is closed down, well, I know this is separate. This other project on 75 is a great big thing, and it's going to take as long as it takes. Can we ballpark just in particular that particular crossing when the other lane of traffic could be returned?
So when we open up the ramp, ATM, all the restrictions on the bridge, would that be at that point? We can get back to you on the time frame on how long it's going to be. We got to go back and look at the schematics.
Okay.
And the facing. We still have, now everything that I'm talking about is in the westbound direction. As y'all would have seen, we are still working on the eastbound. So we cannot remove some of those restrictions until the eastbound gets.
Okay. Thank you, Noel.
Go ahead.
I also want to add that we got the traffic light running on South Drive. To it, traffic south of 1417.
Well, I'll tell you guys Zachary and your team is out there working hard and fast, and that Travis Street bridge and overpass is just phenomenal. So we appreciate you on that.
So I think I may have answered your question. I was thinking of Loy Lake. Now you were mentioning South Travis or Loy Lake?
Loy Lake.
Loy Lake.
Talking about the bridge,
Yeah.
Lloyd Lake Bridge
Well,
over
if you're going north and somebody wants to turn left, then nobody goes for the entire signal.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a left turn lane. And if you're coming from the other way, I've seen traffic all the way back to like Sam's Club, and then now they're blocking that intersection at Gallagher. So now it's going all the way back to Gallagher and Pecan Grove. So now it's 2 intersections deep, and there's no other outlet other than that intersection. So that's why it's a concern to me.
Yeah, so once we finish the eastbound ramps, I think we should be able to get back to the original configuration. That would relieve, those. Because at that point, you'll have the left turn lanes.
Okay, thank you.
Quickly, the other projects that we are working on, y'all know the 75 from County Line. That was reconstructed in the mid-2000s, so we are in the process of adding another lane that would give you 6 lanes. So that project is fully funded, and it's currently under design. Also, while we are working on that design, we are going to look at the segment just north of that. That's the location where TI is going to be. It's very important to us to start looking at that older design. About $65 to $70 million, but it's not funded, but we'll be requesting for funding through the next cycle of our unified transportation. That will be the 2023 guarantee, but I think when I talk about TI making a huge investment here and the additional traffic that's going to generate, I'm hopeful that that project would get funded. Also, the mayor is on the board with me on the MPO board. The MPO funded the segment of 75 from 82 to Loy Lake in Denison. I don't have to tell y'all that's a segment that's giving us a lot of problem. Actually, from Sherman all the way to Loy Lake, we spend about $2.5 million to repairing that. Of course, that segment of roadway has been there for 60 plus years, well beyond the design life. So this project is going to greatly improve that section. So it's fully funded for $70 million from 82 to Loy Lake, but we are also seeking additional funds from 82. Currently, it's not funded, but we are going to go ahead with the schematic and then possibly the plan preparation.
And the Loy Lake you're referring to is the Loy Lake in Denison, not that 1 mile stretch.
No.
Okay.
So it's going to go all the way past Spur 503 and then terminate just north of Loy Lake in Denison. Obviously, if you're interested in that Spur 503 intersection, there's going to be a lot of work. But that's another concept.
You're not interested.
Talking about 1417, I don't have it highlighted north of 56. Everybody here has that segment at some point. We started that project in early 2020. Seems like it's going slow, but the original focus was to get the water line. There was 2 separate projects, so we don't see that, but there was a lot of work that went in, laying water line, adjusting some utilities. So that was 1 year that we had planned. The contractor was able to start working on the Post Oak Creek Bridge while we were doing that. So there was some time savings that he was able to gain, but we are still on schedule. As y'all can see, the bridge is pretty much complete. We are working on the east side. Should be able to complete all of that east side. Then we'll work on the west side, and that'll take about another year to complete.
February of 23.
And by east side, you don't mean just the east side of the bridge, but all of the east side of the project.
All the way to H2. Then
it's a year.
Okay.
As you can see, it's kind of a piecemeal way of constructing it. You got to make sure that all the traffic, 2 lanes of traffic is maintained, all the side streets are operational, so you'll see a lot of jumping from here to there. But that's what's taking us a longer time to do that. But again, that's on schedule per our original schedule. If there's opportunities to speed things up, hopefully if the temperature holds like it is right now, I think we could make some progress there. I think that's all I have for the update. That's my information and Aaron's information. Answer any questions y'all may have.
As always, Noel, I appreciate you putting your personal cell phone up on the screen. It always helps us. Thank you, sir.
I do have one other question, Noel. Could you give us an update on Lamberth Road?
I've already told Noel the only reason nobody is complaining about 75 is because they're all complaining about Lamberth.
What I told him to.
And that's the only reason they're not complaining about 75.
Thanks, Noel. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, sir. Yeah. And I'll comment that the North Travis between 82 and 75 looks really good, so thank you.
Yes, it does.
They did a full mill and overlay.
Yes.
And it was fast, too.
It was super fast.
All right. Linda, if you read G2 for us, please.
Consider approval of the annexation scheduling plan for adoption of approximately 36.892 acres of land located off of FM 131 North, adjacent to the Sherman city limits and in the city of Sherman's extraterritorial jurisdiction, and directing the Department of Engineering Services to develop a service plan for the area to be annexed upon approval of the annexation scheduling plan.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Clint?
This is a request to adopt the schedule, which would come back to the next council meeting for adoption of the annexation. It's for about 37 acres on North Travis Street, just south of Austin Landing. And I think the intent here is for mixed-use development, single-family residential in the back with the front that serves along Travis Street to be commercial.
Better city Sherman.
Terrific.
Are you here for that reason? I thought you were just here hanging out, man.
I'm being the BMT.
Very good.
All right.
Okay.
Any
I move to
questions,
approve.
comments?
Do we need
Okay.
approval?
I'll
I move to
second.
approve.
Yeah, the scheduling plan. Okay, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
I abstain from that vote, Linda.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
Thank you.
Drive safe.
All right, we're to council comments. Henry, I'm going to start with you tonight.
I had a comment on that. This guy, the Noel, that just left. I'm a little worried about the speed that's going on Highway 75. Usually, I try to drive my own 60. Chief, I drive 60. But I noticed that there's a lot of cars that go 70 and over there. And usually I'm looking for a police, looking around. I see the markers that they have, and they're 70 and up. So I was wondering, is there anything that can be done about that? Usually there's a lot of out of the state cars to do that.
So 2 things. When we do work traffic enforcement out there, it's very critical where the stop is actually made. And so that limits some of our access because with the Jersey walls and the exits where they are, makes it tough sometimes. However, so we do have one motorcycle unit out, and we have another one ordered and on the way. We have that officer already trained. He's been to the school, and so we're waiting for that. That will increase our ability to do that. That and the speed trailers, the speed trailers work for a limited amount of time. They work when they're first noticed, and then people are used to it that it's there. So we do try to enforce that as we can, but unfortunately, in the areas of concern, for the most part, we're not able to really make any good traffic stops in there right now. So we have to set up outside of the construction area when it opens up. And typically those cars that you're seeing in that construction area, maybe we get them, maybe we don't, because we're having to wait until it's an accessible place for us to make the stop. But it is definitely something that we look at, and we try to move around our sign as can be, and get our motor units out there when we can.
I got family in the Phoenix area, and one time we had gone over there to visit. Speed limit was 70. They had cameras where they can take a picture yourself, the tag and everything, and they mail that ticket to you.
Yeah. Well, and they outlawed the red light cameras now, so Texas kind of going the other way on that.
Texas said no way.
But yeah, that's definitely something that we take a look at, especially with our motor units. So,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, I've also noticed in talking about those speed limit, I've noticed them in our residential areas.
Yes.
So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. So we try to take a two-pronged approach to those trailers. The trailer that we have, it produces a report. So we can actually, a lot of times it can be deceiving people's thoughts of what speeding is and what it is. So we try to provide that report to people in communities that complain about speeding, provide that report, as well as then the visual enforcement that's out there. So what we want to do is make educated, data-driven decisions so that we're applying our resources in a very thoughtful and efficient manner. So, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
That it?
That's it.
Okay.
Well, I would just like to take a moment to point out, what was that Finisar deal, Robbie? Was that 50 million?
Yeah, about 53.
There was a time not too long ago when a $53 million deal would have prompted a lot more pomp and circumstance. And I guess this is what progress looks like, because nobody seems that impressed. But I would like to officially and formally thank 2-6 and Finisar for reinvesting back in our community, and I think it's great. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I guess just off of Henry's comments, it got me thinking. I don't drive the highway as frequently because I'm normally just in town, but I haven't noticed when I have driven the signs that say construction workers, fines double. Maybe they were there, but and that may be something we should mention to TxDOT to say, hey, those fine double signs, I don't know if they're out there or not, but if they aren't, it may be worth it. So anyways, and then I want to tell the city staff and all that went into putting together that awards luncheon or the Christmas luncheon the other day. Fantastic. The food was great. And I appreciated going back and grabbing last year's and making sure that all those guys had their awards for their time of service.
That was
so
nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean.
And I also want to wish the staff a Merry Christmas. We had a great luncheon last week, and we're able to see a lot of people that we don't see on a day-to-day basis when we're here, but they are actually the foundation of what occurs in this city, and we don't want to forget those people that we don't regularly see here that are very, very important to our city. And so I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.
Same here. I ditto what Councilman Houth just said, that everybody be safe Christmas. Observe all the signs that are out there. There's a lot of people traveling through fast and slow, and just try to be as safe as you can. And Merry Christmas, and have a Happy New Year if I don't see you before that.
Great Christmas party. I'm still the new guy, so I get picked on by the council members. They don't tell me when to eat or when not to eat or what to do, but mainly Sean.
Yeah.
But I do think there's one person in the room I do think we need to acknowledge, and that's sitting right next to me. Linda received her 40-year working for the city of Sherman. 40 years is substantial, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Justin. And I'd like to join in and wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. It was wonderful to go through and hand out the awards and from last year and this year. So I appreciated seeing everybody and for the hard work that our city staff and city employees do every year for us. All right, just a couple of announcements. The walking trail at Pecan Grove West is filled with over 5.5 miles of twinkling lights this year, which is really a neat addition for Sherman. Parks and Rec will turn on the lights at 5:30 through the end of the month until 11 p.m. every night. If you haven't gone to see this, it is amazing. Finally, tonight, our senior center and library both have a month full of holiday-themed events over the course of the next several weeks. Please check out Facebook for a complete list. All right, the City Council will now hold a closed executive session pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Section 551.071, to receive legal advice regarding proposed airport access agreement for development adjacent to the Sherman Municipal Airport and related issues. So at 5:56, we'll adjourn to executive session. Thank you.